Hello there everyone, today we are going to look at Dwarven Realms. Now before someone says this game is endless and can be 100%ed, yes that's true, but I did finish every possible activity, so kind of 100%? Yeah, let's go with that. By the way, if you like the video, like and subscribe. Who knows what good things may happen to you if you do, especially in the magical time of December. So, what is Dwarven Realms? Well, it's an indie ARPG hack and slash game, very true to its name. Mostly what you do is hack and slash through enemies, defeat the boss, go to your fortress to check out your loot, craft some thingies and go back to the onslaught. The game wastes no time at all to get you in the action, but is it any good? Let's check everything from graphics to gameplay to find out. Oh, by the way, no story and writing this time because, well, there really isn't any story, so let's just start with the visuals. First thing you'll notice in the visual style is this feeling of nostalgia, like you've been here before but slightly different. The game's visuals are ever so slightly similar to older World of Warcraft, enough to see it, but not enough to just be a straight up plagiarism, which I'll give points to because graphical style is very nice to look at. The hordes of monsters are pretty basic, including the bosses, so I'd like to see some more variety moving forward, both in biomes and in creature designs. We do have some nice skins for our character though, which makes up for the character creator options being very limited. Spells and battle effects are very nice. Dragons flying across the field and from the ground to attack the hordes of enemies you face are also very good looking. The game becomes very bright, full of effects, but never so that you'd lose your character and not know where you are. So props to, let me check my notes real quick, both the developers working on the game. For a game made by two people, it looks great. Performance-wise, I had absolutely no issue at any point of the game, no matter how many demons and effects graced my screen, and the gameplay was buttery smooth. I played the game on epic mode with what I'd call a mid-range setup, and I am sure lower-end computers could run this game smoothly also, so anyone can enjoy this game. Now let's check music and sound.
What? Did you miss the tiny purple portal in the middle of your fort? That means you get 5. Congratulations on your counting skills.
Right off the bat you meet this demon who seemingly doesn't like you, but he tolerates you because he kinda has to, and his voice acting is on point. There's not much of voice acting, basically it's just this NPC and some lines here and there from everyone else, but all of the voice acting is good, like how the vendor says there's no discounts here as opposed to every other game, so they're at least being honest with you, so that's good to see. The before mentioned demon serves mostly as tutorial for what everything does, but it is done in a humorous manner and fits the game and what you're actually doing instead of just being ham-fisted in the game just because it has to be there. I started playing Dwarven Realms after Bellrite, which I had to quit because of their absolutely awful AI voice acting, and this was a nice change of pace. Even just reading is better than insanely obvious AI voice in a fantasy setting. About the music, I have absolutely no qualms with it. It's good, you'll be treated to a very nice tune when you're chilling in your fortress, and battle music is good enough to not become boring. Not that you'll have the time to think, you've hordes of enemies attacking you, and we'll check how that works right now in the gameplay section.
Upgrade completed.
So, on a surface level, the game seems very repetitive. Go to a rupture, fight enemies to collect time essence to open the boss arena, stick around to collect more of the sweet loot that spawns from elites, defeat the boss, rinse and repeat. And while it seemed that this is the game, it's actually not really the case. The game has a certain charm which will somehow make you keep going. Yes, the ruptures are the main grind of the game, which your helper demon even tells you, so Dwarven Realms doesn't hide it's a grind fest, but even just going back to refine your materials, level up in peace and get your daily quests which grant dungeon keys and special materials is very pleasant to do, and you'll keep coming back for more. Let's start with the ruptures. You go to the portal and select where you want to go. First you have to get through each and every biome and their boss to progress, and after that you can choose where to go and grind for what you need. You spawn in and continue to the battlegrounds where monsters spawn. The hordes are easy to kill, but every now and then an elite will spawn either on their own or by you stepping on a time rift. You'll want to step in those as much as you can, because the elites which spawn from that, they guarantee a drop. Most of those you have to unlock with time essence which drops from your enemies, but don't worry, you'll have plenty to spend. After a while you're able to open a way to the boss, which is your final fight. Bosses are actually really easy for the most part. A couple of them are just plain annoying. Not hard, just annoying. The big scorpion boss which burrows and two of the bosses which shield themselves are the biggest offenders, and they consume time for practically no reason. Other bosses, especially main ones, seem a bit too easy, and I'd like to see more variety in upcoming seasons, which the game will have as all ARPGs have to, but ruptures are the main loop of the game. You can face those challenges in multiple ways with weapons of your choice. I did notice though that wands and ranged weapons make the game a little bit easier than melee weapons, especially in the annoying boss sections because you can bombard them from afar, so you don't need to deal with them burrowing and shielding as much as you do with the melee weapons. Dungeons are something you'd want to visit as often as possible because the gear you get there is vastly superior to anything you'll get in the ruptures, but the grind to get the dungeon key, even one, is absolutely brutal. So I hope there's a bit of tuning done in the future because dungeons do offer a bit of variety. And last, your fortress is a place where you'll work on your gear, sell the excess to gain even more power and level up in peace. The skill tree is quite big, but the bonuses you get for leveling up are quite small, except for the main nodes. Smaller ones offer about 1% improvement, which isn't much, but it does add up. You can level up to your heart's content and even visit lower level ruptures if you feel as if you stalled. The gear ranges from basic to legendary, and you can even craft it to your liking. A bit of RNG luck is required, but for the most part, you can get nice gear very fast. Along with the weapons, you'd want offhands which complement your build. Those range from shields around you to dragons destroying everything in your path. If you have 3 offhands of the same type and the ability, the cooldown and damage get quite ridiculous, so you'd want that. So the question remains, is the game worth buying? Well, it depends. If you like the endless grind and slaughtering thousands of enemies, then this game will be right up your alley, and with the price point of $7 you can't go wrong. I'd recommend this game to people who don't care for story or going through the whole section of quests before arriving at endgame. You can get to Dwarven Realms endgame really fast and then enjoy the kind of a same grind. So if you like that, then yes, you should buy Dwarven Realms. If on the other hand you need some kind of story, NPCs and more depth in that department, then maybe this game isn't for you, but again, for the price point, I mean, you can still give it a try, if only for supporting the devs which created a very nice game with what they were given. Some recommendations here would be Last Epoch, if you want more of a traditional ARPG with story, and especially if you want a game in which you can change your build on the fly, except for the specialization, but overall you can go from being a fire mage to a frost mage in a blink of an eye. Last Epoch also offers great gameplay overall, with endgame maybe lacking a bit, but being improved every season. Second recommendation is more of a Horde Slayer game, Death Must Die. It's a vampire survival style game with multiple characters, hordes of enemies, and ton of builds and challenges to go through. I've played it as a preview, so you can see that right on my channel. You should do this after this video. So that's it for Dwarven Realms. Tell me your thoughts in comments down below. Do you agree with me, or am I just being completely wrong about this game? Until next time, Goblin out. Bye!